Suns couldn't throw it in the ocean in that fourth quarter against Orlando. Let's see what happens here tonight in Miami. 26-15 Suns, the 25-17 Miami Heat. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Discount Tire Company. Visit Discount Tire Company on the web by logging on to discounttire.com. Discount Tire, low prices, more choices, the best brands. Nash and Raja Bell in the backcourt. Bell still battling that thigh injury. Played through it in Orlando. Boris Diaw, Sean Marion the forwards, and Kurt Thomas, the one-time member of the Miami Heat. The Suns starting center, their head coach, Mike D'Antoni, disappointed in the Suns defense, no doubt, in that game against Orlando. And over the last 8 games, he's worried about the shaky start to this road trip. And now the major challenge here in Miami. And he basically said whoever makes more open shots here tonight will win the game. The Suns doubling down on Shaq, leaving the shooters open for Miami. Starting lineup now for the Heat. Jason Williams out once again with the knee tendonitis. It appears he'll play 2, 3, maybe 4 games, then have to sideline himself to rest that weary knee. So it's the glove, Gary Payton in the backcourt, along with Dwayne Wade. James Posey came over in that deal from Memphis. Udonis Haslem, the Miami native, and Shaquille O'Neal, big fella in the middle. For the head coach, once again, of the Miami Heat, Pat Riley took over for Stan Van Gundy last month. Stan resigned for family reasons. The Heat 14-7 since Pat Riley returned to the bench this season. Tonight's AutoZone matchup presented by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Suns and Heat marquee matchup, and we look at the bigs, Kurt Thomas and Shaq.
Well, it'll be Kurt Thomas and 4 other Suns. It won't just be Kurt, believe me.
He hopes not.
I watched, I played against this guy for a number of years, and every time I see him, I still can't believe how big he is. But, the Suns are going to have to do it by committee. Kurt Thomas gets the first shot at him. I think the key for Kurt is just not to get in foul trouble early on. I think, I know the focus is to foul Shaq because he's a terrible free throw shooter, but you have to save your fouls for late in the ball game, and I think Kurt's presence can really help the Suns during the course of this game with his jump shooting.
Tap control by Miami. Shaq knocks it back now to Gary Payton. Keep an eye on what the Suns are calling the Haslem rules as they double down on Shaquille O'Neal. Should be plenty of open jumpers for Udonis Haslem. It starts with a baby hook by Shaq.
That was a quick move there. He wasn't even going to wait for the double team to get there. He just moved in right away.
Suns basically played a triangle defense on Shaquille O'Neal in Phoenix, and again will try to run him mercilessly in this game, try and wear him down as he rips it away from his teammate Gary Payton.
The guy has fun even when he's playing.
Gary Payton here in Miami. He seems to be following Shaq wherever he goes. The two are together for a season in Los Angeles. Here come the Suns. Boris kick it back out to Sean Marion. He'll fire a 3. Arch Deluxe. Not close. Rebounded by Haslem.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that for Sean early on because, he came into this game shooting over 50%. Doesn't take a lot of threes, only shooting about 29% from there. His rhythm is predicated on getting the easy opportunity first and then venture out to the 3.
Raja Bell with the defensive assignment on the highly talented Dwayne Wade, and the fade in the lane by Gary Payton. 4-0 start for the Heat.
Well, you can believe that they're going to make Steve play defense. I know that's been the focus of their talks in this game, is to force Steve Nash to defend on the other end to kind of wear him down.
Nash, big shot. Got it for Steve Nash, the three-pointer in the zone with AutoZone. $100 to Phoenix Suns Charities, and it's 4-3 here early. Nash was lighting it up from three-point range in Orlando, 4 of 8 with the big shot. Wide open Jay for Haslem, all net, and it could be all night.
Well, but it has to be. I mean, you have to leave someone open, but still you can run at him and make it difficult for him. Just don't allow him to just spot it up.
Nash whips it and whips it good inside to Boris Diaw, who lays it home. Good start for Boris. His offense has been sputtering of late for Phoenix, mostly because of foul difficulty for Boris Diaw. Haslem, they dare him to shoot again. This one wide left and boarded by Steve Nash.
He's about another miss from not even looking at that shot. And I'm sure that Pat Riley is telling him not to turn it down, but I'd rather him shoot it than Shaq.
Kurt Thomas, the one-time #1 draft pick of the Miami Heat in the first round, sticks it from the outside. He was their first-round pick back in 1995, and now a stop in play. A foul down low against Miami, and Shaq trying to burrow in on Kurt Thomas.
Well, he did. And the thing with Shaq is you have to be a little creative and theatrical. And Shaq's laughing about it a little bit, but he did put the shoulder down.
Going back to Udonis Haslem, he averages 9 points and 8 rebounds this season. Suns turn it over, and Haslam shoots 47% from the field. And I mentioned the Haslam rules. That also will apply when Antoine Walker comes into the game. The Suns will allow him to become a jump shooter while they double down on Shaq.
Well, it's a little bit more dangerous, though, because Antoine Walker loves to shoot it. I don't think he's going to shy away, and he can find a rhythm.
Nash shadowing Payton inside. It's Wade. Pump fake blocked from behind by Rajabel. Out of the pack comes Wade. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. They put it low block to Shaq. Inside Haslam. Assist Shaquille O'Neal.
You know, I think that's what the Suns are going to get the beauty of when Amari comes back. That guy on the weak side is going to be Kurt Thomas, Boris Diaw, whoever. They're going to get the benefit of easy opportunities off the double team.
Nash into the lane, creating for Kurt Thomas, creating a wide open jumper, but back iron rebounded by James Posey. Part of that 5-team, 13-player blockbuster deal during the offseason, which also netted Jason Williams for this team here in Miami. Though again, Jason Williams out with the knee injury. Gary Payton fires from deep. Thomas locked up with Shaq, and a foul on Kurt Thomas of the Suns.
Yeah, and see, again, that's a foul that Kurt needs to say, okay, just get it. Because, again, not many big bodies over there for the Suns. And so you want to make sure that every foul you commit is worth it. Because if you don't, the Suns all of a sudden, they're in deep trouble.
All right, Eddie, what differences, if any, have you seen from this Heat team, the 21 games under Pat Riley?
Well, I think they're more focused. I think you can automatically see that. I know Pat Riley does not allow his players to fraternize before games. You didn't see any Heat player crossing half court talking to anybody until they came out on their warm-up, when a few players did speak. He encourages them to stay focused, and their practice schedule has been huge, and they'll be in shape before it's over.
Shaq misses inside. Dan Marley always talks about, too, having played for Riley, and no cell phones on the bus, on the plane after a loss. He doesn't want any smiling or talking. Inside, Sean Marion for the Suns.
That was a quick jump hook release. I don't know if anybody in the league can shoot the ball that quickly as him. And it's soft when it rolls off his hand.
Suns start out 4 of 7 shooting from the field, 57%. Turnover Miami. Here comes Rajabel. Shaq trailing defensively. Suns continue to push. Nash behind the line for 3. Absolutely for Steve Nash. Another $100 at Suns Charities from AutoZone. Second big shot by Nash.
You know, and young players, when you go to a Suns game, come when the Suns warm up. And you understand why Steve Nash doesn't miss that shot. He takes about 100 of those before every game.
First hoop for Dwayne Wade. And you're right, Steve Nash profiled in Sports Illustrated this week by renowned writer Jack McCollum, and he talks about Steve Nash's practice habits and how he gets ready for a game. Marion off the mark, and the rebound to Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq averaging 19 points and 9 rebounds. And of course came over here last season, acquired from the Lakers for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, and Brian Grant, who is now with the Phoenix Suns. Payton into the lane, kick it into the corner to Haslam. Straight and sweet for Udonis Haslam. Hometown hero Haslam, 25 years of age, grew up in Liberty City, the inner city of Miami.
Their focus is to take all attention away from Dwayne Wade.
Blocking foul on Shaq. That's number 2.
It took him 2 hours to fall down. You don't realize it, but really, the game's over.
and we could feel it here. The ground is still shaking.
I mean, you know, he couldn't move laterally, and that was one of the worst taking of a charge I've ever seen.
That's some bad acting, too.
First of all,
I thought that was Kazam.
Let me tell you something. You can line up. You can take 400 people out the stands right now and all run into Shaq at the same time, and he wouldn't fall.
Well, mission accomplished for the Suns. Off the floor goes Shaquille O'Neal, but on the floor comes Alonzo Mourning, who leads the NBA in total blocks this season. Rajabel firing up a dart from the outside, and the Suns are leading by 2.
You know what, and Shaq, you know, has probably done Riley a favor. He was only playing him about 28 minutes a game, but probably done him a favor, and because Riley understands it would be tough for Shaq to even participate in this game on a serious level unless he was getting domination inside, and the Suns defensively, they're taking it away from him.
All 5 Suns starters have scored here in the first quarter. Payton hopping into the lane, traveling violation on the glove. Gary Payton, 37 years of age now in his 16th season out of Oregon State. This is his 5th team in the last 4 years as he searches for an NBA ring.
He was talking as a rookie when I got traded from the Suns to Seattle, and he still is.
Non-stop Gary Payton's been to the finals twice, once with Seattle and once with the Lakers. Boris Diaw back iron, and it drops for 3D, and the Suns up by 4. It's their biggest lead here in the opening quarter.
Dwayne Wade hasn't been a focus, but believe me, it's getting ready to start going up in a second.
It's been Haslam, 3 of 5 shooting here in the quarter. There is Flash, comes up short, and Marion rips it away from Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning had the kidney transplant a little over 2 years ago. Raja Bell, big shot for 3. Hitting rock bottom, Raja Bell. Started Florida International a couple of seasons and has some family and friends here at the game. Timeout, Pat Riley. Very strong start by the Suns. They're on a 7-0 run each.
Yeah, they have come out shooting the basketball well, getting good movement against a team that can't run with them. They are slow of foot, the Miami Heat. And Raja Bell and the Suns are finding a way to put some heat on them. You see Raja, Boris Diaw, all net.
Suns leading by 7 here in the opening quarter. Join Dan Marley on Friday, February 10th for his Celebrity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Scottsdale. Call 480-344-5681 for more information. Did you get your invite each from Dan Marley, the Golf Classic?
No.
I think it's in the mail. How about Steve Nash? The Suns have hit 3 straight from three-point range. Nash has hit 2, and he's picked up 3 assists.
Well, it's made it easier for Steve because everybody's knocking down shots, and that's what he needs in this basketball game. They don't need a two-man gang with he and Sean Marion. They need the cast of characters that have been a major part of this team all year to step forward. And so far in this basketball game, everybody has gotten a shot. And everybody's made one early in the game for the Phoenix Suns. The most shots taken, Raja Bell and Sean Marion, 3, and they've made their bucket. So a good spreading of the basketball early on in this contest.
We thought that Steve Nash would be going head-to-head with Jason Williams, but he's now missing his 12th game of the season, coming over in that blockbuster deal from Memphis. Very tight with Shaquille O'Neal, longtime friendship between J. Will and Shaq actually calling him hip-hop Scott Skiles. I guess that's Skiles with a little flair, a little urban flair. They dump it down low to Alonzo Mourning, who's in there for Shaq, who has the 2 fouls, tipped out of there and into the hands of Raja Bell.
You know, with Alonzo Mourning in the basketball game, you know, if he had continued to play the minutes he was getting, he'd probably be up for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he is a force inside. He's going to go after every attempt in the paint.
Alley-oop, crashing down Sean Marion, elevating and detonating the assist from who else? 3D.
Except that one. He can't go for that one. He can't elevate anymore.
Doesn't have those kind of leaps anymore, but you're right. Zoe is a walking medical marvel out there. Suns pretty marvelous on defense against Dwayne Wade, keeping him away from the hoop. But he flips it in, and the Suns lead is back to 7. Raja working off a Kurt Thomas screen. The Suns shooting 69% from the field here in the opening quarter. The Heat at a 50% mark. Kurt Thomas flashing free inside, goaltending on Zoe.
Yeah, you know, and that's what Zoe will do to you. And Zoe will go into a game. I played with him in Charlotte, and his mentality is, you know, I know I might goaltend 2 or 3 shots, but what happens is psychologically in the back of your mind, when you go up to shoot, you know I'm coming again, and it might take you off your rhythm. And so that's what he will do early on.
Suns leading by 9. It's their biggest lead. They've hit their last 5 shots after the goaltending call on Mourning. Suns packing it in defensively. Kurt Thomas one-on-one against Mourning. Left-handed hook boarded by Kurt Thomas. Kurt coming off another quiet offensive night in Orlando against the Magic, just 2 of 6 from the field. But he is happy setting the screens, getting the rebounds for Phoenix. Raja Bell off the mark, and the rebound to Haslam.
Yeah, Raja got the big guy on him. Probably now, put your head down, maybe try to get creative and get to the bucket. Neither team is taking the free throw so far.
Back cut Haslam, but before the shot, a foul on Kurt Thomas of the Suns. And that's a fortuitous foul for Phoenix because that was a lay-in for Haslam as Marion went for the steal. Haslam cut back door.
Boris Diaw and Sean Marion, they are becoming one of the best twosomes at passing inside than we have in the league. I mean, if you can probably place Boris Diaw on a lot of Sean and Marion's dunks so far this year, and he's had a lot. He leads the league in dunks.
It has been something to see. Dwayne Wade pops free, straight and down it goes for Dwayne Wade. I showed you his numbers at the outset. He has just been phenomenal this year. 6th in the NBA in scoring at 27 points a game. 10th in the league in assists, 7 per. Boris Diaw, the long arms of the law there for 3D.
Well, I told Boris as we got off the bus tonight, I said, you know, you have to get warmed up for your return to Atlanta tomorrow night. He said, yes, you're right, Eddie.
Very good point. Wade shakes free from Bell and then tripped up in the lane and hits the wood. 3:02 to go here in the opening quarter. Suns with 25 on the board, leading by 9.
Boris Diaw's ability to really interact in the paint is huge. And then when he does spin toward the bucket, his long arms can just get him to the rim and it hurts.
So Jason Capono in there for Miami. He really struggled from the field in that first meeting between these two teams in Phoenix. Found himself wide open on numerous occasions. But he is a pure shooter from the outside. Barbosa out there for Phoenix. Antoine Walker held and fouled by Nash on his way to the hoop. And we have a timeout with 2:55 to go here in the opening quarter. The Phoenix Suns, 2nd of 6 on the road trip. Very aggressive, very confident here tonight against the Miami Heat, who are 14-5 at American Airlines Arena. With director Dan Siekman, our producer Bob Adlock, John McCann on graphics, Tom Leander and Eddie Johnson back with you from Miami. Suns leading by 9 here in the opening quarter, shooting 69% from the field. They've hit 6 of their last 7. Tonight's heart-pumping moment brought to you by Banner Health. We go back to last season, Eddie. Dwayne Wade, this was one of the plays of the year. The block on Amari and then the bomb.
Well, you know, the surprise was the block. You know, the shot is luck, but the ability to get up as he did on Amari and then finish it off combined into a moment that everybody said, man, where did this guy come from?
Marquette would be the answer.
No,
in his third year.
Chicago.
Oh,
Excuse
even
you.
further back.
Excuse you.
All right.
Okay, Marquette borrowed him from Chi-Town.
Hey, Eddie, a lot of Heat connections here for the Suns. Miami seems to be a pipeline to Phoenix. You start with Jim Jackson, who spent a season here with the Heat. Brian Grant, 4 seasons, sent to L.A. in the Shaquille O'Neal deal. Eddie House, first 3 seasons, 2nd-round pick of the Heat. Riley actually wanted him back here this season after they lost out on Michael Finley. From the outside, it's Gary Payton. And a loose ball foul on Boris Diaw of the Suns. Then you have Kurt Thomas, as I mentioned, 1st-round pick of the Heat in 1995, 10th overall, first season and a half here in Miami. And then a couple of assistant coaches. Mark Ivaroni, an assistant under Pat Riley for 3 years. And Alvin Gentry was a head coach for the Heat in 1995.
And you know what? I was almost a Miami Heat as well.
Tell me about it.
Well, when I got released from the Pacers, they did me a favor, and Miami came a-calling. And my first question to Pat Riley was,
how much will I have to practice?
You know, I heard about your practices, but I'm 36 years old now. I mean, do I have to go a 3-hour practice? He said, no, Eddie, I'll be a little lenient on you. I talked to a few of the players. They said,
Give you maybe the Marley J. Will treatment. You know, Marley in the final stages of his career basically wasn't practicing on the floor, was on the bike. And Jason Williams there have to treat him tenderly with those knees. Dwayne Wade trying to set up his mates, and now it's Payton inside, opening up the back door. But hold on, he stepped out of bounds. No hoop for Payton.
Not enough highway down there. He stepped out of bounds. Good move.
By the way, those free throws a moment ago by Alonzo Mourning, he missed both of them. Those are the first 2 free throws here tonight by either team. Boris Diaw from the outside, in and out.
That helps the Suns because the Suns aren't going to outshoot them in free throw attempts. They don't. But so it's good that the Heat have not found a way to get there, which is surprising to me in that they aren't attacking inside a little bit more.
Tonight's game brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. And back to the line goes Alonzo Mourning of the Heat.
You know, just talking more about Alonzo Mourning, I just think what he has done, I mean, it's a testament to how much character he has in terms of fighting and overcoming what people thought. You know, when you have a transplant, you know, you're not supposed to play anymore. You're supposed to go on and live your life. I mean, this guy's made a lot of money, but yet people don't understand that what drives any professional athlete was their ability to get to the league. Well, how did they get there? Through hard work and perseverance, and you don't eliminate that and throw that away. And I think what he has done to play at the level that he has is just unbelievable.
Such an inspiration for other kidney transplant patients. Had that transplant December of 2003, courtesy his cousin Jason Cooper, a 30-year-old ex-Marine who gave up his kidney to Alonzo. They had not seen each other in 25 years, Eddie. And Alonzo saying of Jason Cooper, his cousin, he saved my life and never asked for anything in return. Alonzo even offered to pay him money. Jason Cooper said absolutely not.
Unbelievable.
But Alonzo did send him a pocket surfer, a wireless internet connection for his cell phone, so that Cooper could keep track of the Heat games and Alonzo's stats. No cash, but presents are okay. Gifts are fine.
Yeah, gifts are.
25-17, Suns here, inside of 2 minutes to go in the opening period.
There's no amount of money Alonzo could give him, I mean, to replace what he gave him, so I understand.
Yep, the gift of life. Jason Capono from the outside, shooting just under 50% from the field, and now it's Antoine Walker flipping it up. Good box out by Burke, but over the top comes Alonzo Mourning.
Well, Pat didn't jump. I mean, he had a good block out, but he didn't jump.
That is the second step, isn't it?
I thought.
Nash into the lane, flipped it back out to Burke. Played well off the bench against Orlando 2 nights ago. Raja Bell, 10 seconds on the shot clock now for Nash. Capono jumps out. And now it's Raja Bell, 5 on the shot clock, straight and sweet for 3. Raja that.
I'm trying to figure out why Antoine Walker, you know, a veteran should know shot clock. And shot clock going down, why didn't he just get all over Raja Bell? I mean, he still played off of him like he was going to put it on the floor. And he didn't have time to do anything but shoot it.
Eddie, the Suns missed their first 2 3-point attempts and now have hit 4 in a row. There is Dwayne Wade from the outside.
He's tough. I mean, you know, he was looking for some contact, didn't get it, but still had the great frame of mind to go up unbalanced and knock the shot down.
You know, Mike D'Antoni's listening to this broadcast, and here's Dwayne Wade from the outside. He's okay with that. They, again, want to make him a jump shooter and defensively keep a step away from Wade and try to cut him off from getting to the basket where he is so lethal.
Well, he gets everyone in foul trouble, so you want him to take jump shots. You don't want him to get in the paint, because then he will get your team in foul trouble. I mean, I spoke about it in our open. I mean, this guy has taken over 400 free throws already in the season, which is unbelievable, especially when you look at the fact that the Suns as a team coming into this game is only attempting 743.
Oh, marvelous move by Steve Nash to get into the lane. Could not finish. And here we go, final 20 seconds. Raja Bell pulls back on Wade, but bites on the head fake. And to the line will go Dwayne Wade. Checking in moments ago for the Miami Heat was Gerald Fitch. And Suns fans may remember him for the first meeting between the Suns and Heat. Back in downtown Phoenix, Fitch and Eddie House were both ejected in that fourth quarter, exchanging harsh words.
Yeah.
And on the chalkboard in the Suns locker room, you know, they have a little scouting report on every player, and right next to Fitch's name, in parentheses, Eddie's guy.
I'm sure they went out to lunch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was, to me, was one of the funniest things that a player can encounter, because, you know, especially for Eddie, because I know Eddie plays a much better role for his team than Fitch, and to lose that kind of money on some silliness on the court.
And again, just harsh words, nothing overly physical. Dwayne Wade misses the second free throw. The Suns' lead is 8, and now it appears Nash and the Suns will go for the final shot of a very impressive first quarter. Eddie, you go back, last 72 home games for the Heat, they've won 61 of those. Sean Marion from Nash with just under 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Beautiful setup by Nash, and here comes Wade from midcourt, not again, wide right. and done with one here in Miami with the Suns up by 10.
Yeah, and played an excellent quarter, kept the Miami Heat off the free throw line for most of the quarter, got Shaquille O'Neal in foul trouble. Everything the Suns probably talked about in the locker room came to fruition in that quarter. Let's hope they can put 3 more together.
Suns 4 of 6 3-point shooting in the period. Headed to the second quarter here from Miami. Suns leading by 10. You are watching Phoenix Suns basketball on UPN 45. Phoenix Suns make a bit of a statement here in the first quarter. Shoot 62% from the field, 10 assists on their 13 made field goals, lead by 10 as we head to the second quarter. And Eddie, a very heated reaction by Miami to that embarrassing loss back in Phoenix. We talked about the 47-point first quarter by the Suns, and Suns went on to roll over Pat Riley and company. Riley said, our guys remember being embarrassed and humiliated. Dwayne Wade, who could not play because of a shin injury, said it was ugly, painful game to watch. And last season, the Heat, they were smoked by the Suns, also in Phoenix, and then rebounded with a convincing win back here in Miami. But you have to say the Suns dominated this first quarter.
Well, they did. And they came out and they took advantage, I thought, of a Miami team that still is not ready to run up and down the floor and get on the perimeter and defend. And Suns knocked down some shots early on, which I thought was huge. And then they didn't, on the other end, foul the Heat and send them to the line. That is a way to slow down a running team and keep yourself in the game as well. Suns kept them off of the free throw line. And when they got there, they missed them. They were 2 of 6.
Shaq with the 2 fouls. The game was tied at 12 when Shaq went out of the game with the foul difficulty. Heat had only 8 points since that point. Tipped out of there by Antoine Walker. Suns begin the second quarter with James Jones, who starred at the University of Miami, Leandro Barbosa, Kurt Thomas, Boris Diaw, and the ex-Heat member Eddie House. Dwayne Wade in the corner. Barbosa again giving him a step, giving him some distance. Into the corner, Capono. Can't find the range, and out of bounds off the hands of Leandro Barbosa. Capono starts out 0 of 2 from the field. Walker 0 of 2.
I'll tell you what. Capono better start knocking down shots, or he's going to be in NDBL.
With Gerald Fitch and Earl Barron, who were sent to the Florida Flames by this Heat team, but then recalled. Down low it goes now to Antoine Walker. Sent out by Boris Diaw. The defense there on Twan. Eddie House up ahead now. Barbosa pulls back on Dwayne Wade, waits for a Kurt Thomas screen. Drives past Shaq, into the corner now, James Jones, Jr. for 3, in and out. And the rebound to Shaq.
You know, James Jones has the best mechanics of anybody on the floor. But what he has to do is build up his confidence level. You know, if your confidence level is not high, I don't care how good your mechanics are. Because a shot is about 85% mechanics and about 15% confidence. And if you don't do it, you'll be in trouble.
How about that floater by Barbosa? He has unique mechanics himself. Jones, same spot. Corner pocket 3 for James Jones.
That's it. I mean, you know, we've seen guys play. I mean, Tim Hardaway, Clyde Drexler, Jamal Wilkes, one of the older guys. I mean, those guys' form was terrible, but they had great confidence.
From the outside, it's Fitch. The scoreboard here says 32-22, so apparently they're saying Jones had his feet on the line, and there's Barbosa blasting in, hits the shot, but an offensive foul called on Barbosa.
You know, that's a foul that Mike D'Antoni shouldn't have to worry about, because you need somebody to go to the basket. I mean, if the Suns, if Leandro doesn't go to the basket, then the Suns probably won't shoot any free throws. And so he has to chance it and understand that he's going to pick up a couple of fouls during the course of a game.
Good defense there by Capono outside of that circle. Fitch now drops it inside to Shaquille O'Neal. Suns' philosophy here is if he has a surefire dunk, do not foul him.
Why? I mean, not early in the game.
No.
Save him for late.
Boris Diaw inside on Antoine Walker, nearly finished. But Walker picks up the personal foul, and to the line goes a frustrated Boris Diaw, who felt he should have finished that play.
He can get anything he wants on Antoine Walker. Antoine Walker cannot move laterally. As you get a little bit older in basketball, certain things leave. And I just found it real comical when I couldn't move and get over there and cut someone off, and Antoine Walker's feeling my pain right now. I wonder if he would admit it, though.
Diaw sticks the first one. Eddie, it appears at least here early that the Suns are avoiding the dreaded malady here in Miami. South Beach syndrome tends to hit some NBA teams when they have a day off in Miami. The social scene at South Beach and one of the great perils of road travel in the NBA.
But, you know, I'm focused, you're focused. We went to have dinner and we went to bed.
That's right.
You know, we're ready.
We're hungry. We want it. Fitch from the outside wants a three-pointer rebounded by Kurt Thomas. Clears it now to Eddie House. Here come the Suns on the push. Barbosa into the lane, feeds James Jones. This is a 2, and the board by Shaq. Picking up his rebounding numbers. That is exactly what Pat Riley has been asking for, saying hit the offensive, defensive glass while teams double and triple team you on offense. They get it down low now to Shaq, drop the shoulder and drops the shot.
He can't do anything. I mean, you know, Kurt Thomas is just in for a long night in terms of getting banged around. He just has to make Shaquille O'Neal work. 33-year-old Shaquille O'Neal signed a new 5-year, $100 million contract, so it will be 38 at contract's end. Offensive rebound, Kurt Thomas. Eddie House, big shot. Boris Diaw going after the offensive board. Still loose on the floor and scooped up by Fitch. Excellent ball movement, though. The Suns didn't knock it down, but they made the Miami Heat play defense, which should tire them out a little bit on this end offensively.
Fitch, a rookie here in the NBA out of Kentucky, spent last season in Europe. Shaq muscling in on Kurt Thomas, who says Shaq pushed off with that forearm.
You know, with Kurt Thomas, and really no offense to Kurt and anybody that guards Shaq, it's sort of like, Tom, if you were guarding me in the post right now, how helpless you would feel. That's what Kurt's going through right now.
Again, I'd let you muscle down, and then I'd take a couple of quick steps backwards and watch you hit the wood.
Well, a good way to get him out, too. I didn't even hear what you said. It really wasn't that important to me. But really what was important was Kurt Thomas picked up the 3rd foul on Shaquille O'Neal.
I'm glad you didn't hear what I had to say. It wasn't pretty. And neither is this for Suns fans. Shaq, dominating move, but he has 3 personal fouls here in the first half. Hometown Heat trailing by 6 to the Phoenix Suns here in the second quarter. This day in NBA history, presented by Paddock Pools, Patios and Spas since 1958, where all your backyard needs. This is a good one, Eddie. January 26, 1991. Not all good, but Houston guard Vernon Maxwell became the 5th player in NBA history to score 30 points in a quarter, joining Wilt, David Thompson, George Gervin, and Michael Jordan. Now you notice who's not on that list? Kobe Bryant. Even after his 81-point game against Toronto, the most he had in a quarter was 28.
Well, he spread his around. You know, Vernon Maxwell obviously didn't end up with a lot, although he had 30 in the quarter. You know, Kobe just spread him around. But you're right, that's surprising that Vernon Maxwell is there if you didn't follow his career. But I played against the guy, and he was very streaky. He can get hot from behind the arc, and that was one particular quarter where he knocked it down.
Scottie Pippen working the nachos here in Miami.
Yeah, he's selfish, wouldn't bring me in.
Shaquille O'Neal still out on the floor after picking up his 3rd personal foul. Turning 34 years of age in March. Missed 18 games earlier this season with an ankle injury. Has been out of shape, trying to work himself back into shape. Big shot, Barbosa! In the zone with AutoZone. Another $100 to Phoenix Suns charities. That's number 5 for the Suns here in the first half.
Now you ask the question, why is Pat Riley leaving Shaquille in? Well, he's been their only offense. I mean, if you take him out, you know, as Capono keeps digging a hole for himself. But, you know, if you take Shaq out, I mean, where's his offense going to come from right now with Wade on the bench?
Eddie House could barely see the hoop. Shaq was right in front of him following that release. Jason Capono may start 6 feet under. He's digging himself such a hole and missing everything. Antoine Walker. There you have it. The Suns have an option. Double team, triple team Shaq, and let these guys shoot or go one-on-one with O'Neal. Looks like a pretty astute move by Mike D'Antoni.
Well, you know, the problem with Antoine Walker over his career has been his love affair with a jump shot, you know, and probably could have become one of the best inside players in the league, but just never really saw fit to do it.
Boris Diaw Backing down, now kick it over to James Jones from the outside. James Jones sticks it. Suns shot 62% from the field in the first quarter. Here in the second period, now 3 of 9, 33%.
And not really wavering at all, getting any type of look that they want.
Shaking and baking in the lane is Wade. Here comes Shaq, snow plowing in, and a foul on the floor. Eddie House says it's on him, petitioning for the call for Phoenix. And you ask and you shall receive. Foul on Eddie House with the Suns leading by 11, up by 10 after the first quarter. Still up 11, 6:53 to go until halftime.
Well, what Eddie House is doing, he understands that he's not going to get to a point where he would foul out in the game. But you don't want them to throw the foul on Kurt Thomas or Boris Diaw. So for young players watching, understand what's in the game and how the game is going. And sometimes you have to throw the official off and take a foul.
Capono breaks free inside for his first hoop. And the lead is now down to 9. Barbosa, defended by Posey. Hesitation move, draws the foul. That was a thing of beauty by Leandro Barbosa. James Posey is one of the better defenders in the league. Little head fake, little hesitation. Posey bit, and the blur went right to the hoop.
I say this again, and I always say, I love these people that, he's a great defender. I don't care what and how good your defense is. It can't stop good offense. Okay, because the offensive player knows where he's going, and the defender does not. And James Posey got left out to lunch, regardless of how good a defender he is. If you execute good offensively, you better put 2 people over there, because that's what they did to Jordan. That's what they do to Kobe, because one player cannot guard you. And Leandro is so quick, he can get around you.
Posey's a lot like Robert Horry as well. Very long arms and can take away that dribble if you face him up. So you have to protect the ball when you put it on the floor against Posey. Suns lead is 11. Barbosa now with 5 points off the Suns bench. They've also received 4 off the pine from James Jones. Haslam, top of the key. Diaw drops back and watches it right through the hoop. And Haslam now 4 of 6 shooting. He has 8 points. Dwayne Wade leading Miami with 11. Off the iron is Boris Diaw. Suns are led by Raja Bell and Boris Diaw. Both have 8 points here in the first half. Payton cut off there. Going backdoor is Wade into the corner. Capono. One dribble, rising up and sticks it from the outside. Jason Capono.
I'm giving Capono a hard time, but he's shooting about 47%. He's their best 3-point shooter as well. And so he definitely has the green light anytime he's on the perimeter to knock it down.
Another explosive move by Leandro Barbosa. Here comes Wade back the other way. Bucket and 1 for Dwayne Wade. Still Pat Riley very upset over there along the Miami sidelines. Not happy with his defense, allowing the lay-in to Barbosa at the other end. A timeout here in the second quarter. When we come back, Wade at the line to try to finish off a 3-point play for the Heat. Miami outscoring the Suns 16-13 here in the second quarter. Now you have 135 million reasons to play Powerball. Saturday's jackpot an estimated $135 million. Get your tickets today. And don't forget to check for the winning numbers at ArizonaLottery.com. Now it's time for tonight's Powerball Power Play. Dwayne Wade, 13 points so far. He's a superstar and a supermodel for Sean John.
He's a superstar, no doubt about it. I'm not getting into the model stuff.
Okay? Come on.
All right, but I know the guy is very difficult. When he goes to the bucket, you have to actually almost try to rip the ball out of his hands, because if you don't, he is focused. I mean, not many players in the league continue to keep focused when they get hit. But he is one of those guys that you have to make sure he doesn't get the ball above his shoulders, because he's so strong. Once he does, he's going to get a 3-point opportunity.
Talking with Ron Rothstein, assistant coach of the Heat. People magazine naming Dwayne Wade one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. His star is on the rise.
Well, Dwayne's a good-looking young man, no doubt about it. But, that People magazine with all that good-looking stuff, I've seen some guys on there. Come on now. They weren't a star in Hollywood. There's no way you say they were good-looking.
You sound bitter.
No, I should have been there, but that's not the point.
See, there we go. I knew if I dug deep enough, the truth would finally unveil.
But that's not the point. Come on now. You've seen that magazine.
It is
There's some guys on there, please.
A little trashy. I guess there goes my subscription to People Magazine. 6-point lead. 43-37 from the outside. James Jones comes up short. Mentioned that he played at the University of Miami. And there's a number of family and friends here tonight at American Airlines Arena. Capono defended by Junior, and now it's Haslam. Another good look. Shaq in there battling for the rebound, and it's saved by Jones into the hands of Steve Nash, who returns for Phoenix. 6 points, 6 assists so far for Nash.
Haslam must feel like he's in the gym by himself.
Except for the crowd noise, the sold-out arena. Raja Bell, defended by Wade, rams right into a Thomas screen. Raja spins, finds Nash, and the offensive board by Kurt Thomas.
Suns are getting their share and second opportunity.
Nash into the corner. James Jones rising up for the Jays. Straight and all net for James Jones. Suns lead is 8. And now for Jones off the bench. 3 of 6 shooting, 6 points.
And let's not forget James Jones is still a very young player. And once he adds the ability to put it on the floor and get to the bucket, he is going to be difficult to guard. Very long and lean and can get his shot off on anyone.
Very intelligent, too. Academic All-American at Miami. Shaq way short. Haslam blocked from behind by Thomas, but a foul. And let's see, I believe it's against Kurt Thomas, and yes, it is. That is number 3 now on the Suns starting center. Shaq still has 3 for the Heat.
Yeah, and again, you know, sometimes it's difficult for a big guy to just hold back and say, you know what, I'll just give this up right here because I'm more valuable later in the game. And I think that's a play where Kurt has to say, you know what, a teammate has to try to get that, because if I try to block it from behind, here I am sitting with another foul, and that's going to really put us in a difficult situation as the game continues to go on.
Eddie, they just changed that now. The referee signaled number 40, but now they're giving the foul to James Jones.
Good.
A break for the Suns. So Kurt Thomas now back to 2 personal fouls, and that is 2 now on James Jones. Tonight's game brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Saluting America's responsible drinkers. Responsibility matters. 4:10 to go until halftime. Suns lead is 6. Nash, Bell, Marion, Kurt Thomas, James Jones, the 5 on the floor. Payton trying to track Nash. Into the corner, Junior for 3, hitting rock bottom. James Jones in the zone with AutoZone. Another $100 to Phoenix Suns Charities. Suns now with 6 made 3-pointers here in the half. Wade lobbing it up. Marion tips it away from Shaq. Capono free to fire from the outside.
See, Tom, what you get? You're talking about Capono. He heard you, and all of a sudden you're smoking.
I didn't say anything about him. That was all you, Eddie Johnson. Mr. Pure Shooter. Nash, Payton following him from behind, and has the nerve to look at the official and protest.
But you got to understand Gary Payton. He argues with himself.
I look good. No, I don't. I look great. No, I don't.
Did you say that?
Stop talking to me.
Look at the rotation of the basketball. That's what gets James Jones that wide open shot.
That is pure for James Jones. Off the bench now with 9. Barbosa has 7, scoring all 7 of those points here in the second quarter. Suns lead is 7. Nash spinning, fading on Haslam. Oh, feathery touch there by Steve Nash.
He can take anybody inside. I mean, smallest guy on the court, but yet he can get in the paint and then get his shot off over the top on a jumper.
Haslam misses the lay-in.
You know, it's that law of odds. You know, even though he's getting open shots and you would think he should make all those easy opportunities, he's not used to it.
From far, far away, it's James Jones suffering from heat stroke here in the first half. 12 points all in this second quarter for Junior.
You sound like you was watching The Wizard of Oz in the last 2 days from far, far away. That was pretty good. He was far away.
And he's been clicking his heels.
And he's on fire. And I'm liking what I'm seeing, Tom, from James Jones. He has come off. We talked about at the beginning of the show. Suns need to find a hot hand. James Jones has it.
James Jones now with a dozen. There is no place like home for Junior. 53-41. It's now time for Bud Light's What's on Tap, presented by Refreshingly Smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Suns now 7 of 14 three-point shooting as you take a look at their upcoming home schedule against Chicago, Minnesota, and Memphis. But what a display put on by James Jones here in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about that someone had to step up. I mean, because Shawn Marion and Steve Nash was beginning to feel, I thought, the pressure of having to do too much. And James Jones has not been as consistent as he would like, but when he can get open opportunities like that, as I stated, Tom, his mechanics are as good as anybody's in the league. And the one thing that James Jones needs to continue to work on is his confidence level and not really be hard on himself when he misses a couple of jump shots. And I think that's the battle that he is dealing with right now, and he has to get over it.
2:43 to go until halftime. Suns lead is 12 here on Pat Riley and the Heat. Haslam, wide right and short, tipping there. Dwayne Wade finally rebounded by Nash. Kurt Thomas running the floor ahead of Shaq. Nash hands it off to Thomas. Baseline, down it goes for Kurt Thomas.
You got to figure that Udonis Haslem, he's not going to beat you. I mean, I don't know what his career high is, but I guarantee it's not much. And so if he's going to continue to take a lot of shots, they are in trouble.
I love how Steve Nash made it pay off for Kurt Thomas, sprinting down the floor ahead of Shaquille O'Neal. Loose ball, snatched away by Nash. He wants to lay it up for Shawn Marion, elevates and detonates.
And I tell you what, all the Heat are doing right now, they're just happy to get down the floor. They're not running back with any purpose, locating anyone. They are so tired right now that they're just happy to get back on the other end of the court.
They've given up 57 now to the Suns here in the first half. Nash now has 9 assists in the first 2 quarters. The defense there on Payton, still able to find the hoop. Shawn Marion for the Suns, one of 4 players who have 8 points here in the first half. The Suns, again, led by James Jones, who has 12.
Well, the Heat made a lot of changes, and I like some of what they did, but one of the things they didn't factor is when they made the changes, they gave up some youth for some elderly people. And so when you go against a team that can run, you're going to pay the price. Fortunately for the Miami Heat, it's not a lot of teams can run like the Suns. So they're going to face a lot of teams that love to walk it up, and then they're not going to have any problems with most teams that they play. And so you look at Eddie Jones, who can run the floor. Damon Jones, young player that can run the floor. Rasul Butler, Christian Laettner, no, you can run. But, you add these older guys with them, and all of a sudden it slows your team down.
11-2, Phoenix Suns run. Here in the second quarter, Kurt Thomas deletes Haslam, and then a loose ball foul on Miami, and Udonis Haslam.
The psychology of shooting and taking a lot of shots. That's why I laugh at some people when they say, well, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points, but he took 48 shots. Well, people don't understand. It takes a lot of strength and effort and concentration to get up 46 shots. Udonis Haslem right now is taking a lot of shots for him for first half. He's not used to it. So his confidence level is starting to go down every time he shoots the basketball because he's not used to being a leader. He's starting to feel guilty now that he's taken so many shots. So what happens, he becomes hesitant on high percentage shots, and it doesn't happen for him.
Miami in the penalty situation, going back to Haslam, so frustrated, actually threw his mouthpiece onto the floor after James Jones's last shot going into that timeout.
Well, Pat Riley probably said that's almost as accurate as you've been so far.
Payton spinning, finger roll past Steve Nash. Payton still has some game left in that body. 37 years of age, signed the 1-year minimum wage deal in the NBA. Under 50 seconds to go here in the first half. Nash runs into Alonzo Mourning, and then Haslam finds Marion, fouled there at the top. Wade was there, and he picks up the personal.
Yeah, and Wade did it, and everybody else is arguing with Wade walked away because he knew. But Shawn Marion's ability to elevate right away and make those shots off one leg, it's very difficult to defend, and 2 guys got him on that one.
And to the line goes Shawn Marion for Phoenix. 26 points, 16 rebounds, 4 steals in the Suns' last game in Orlando. The 111-102 loss to the Magic, kicking off this road trip, but showing no side effects here tonight against the Heat.
What side effects does he show?
Never.
Guy second in the league in minutes played. I mean, he never gets tired. He never says anything. He just plays the game. I don't know where he gets all that energy from.
Has scored 20 or more points in his last 9 games. Sean Marion. Good defense there by Raja Bell, forcing the fade. Tough shot by Dwayne Wade, but again, keep him away from the cylinder. The Suns' focus here tonight.
That's right. Keep him off the line. That's key. I mean, if you keep him off the line, the Suns will have a nice cakewalk in this game because the Heat can't get rest.
63 most first half points the Heat has given up at home here this season. James Jones unloads again with the big shot. Another three-pointer for Junior. Final seconds of the first half. Suns with their biggest lead up by 19.
Pat Riley just turned and shook his head. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Dwayne Wade comes up short. And what a first half performance by the Phoenix Suns. And the Boo Birds are out here in Miami. Suns outscore the Heat 36-27. That man right there, James Jones, 17 points in the second quarter. Wow. We'll hand it off to Kevin Ray and Tom Chambers back in Phoenix with the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Suns outscored the Heat 30-20 in the first quarter, then 36-27 in the second, and now lead by 19 here at halftime in Miami. Tom Leander back with Eddie Johnson. And an amazing first half performance by the Phoenix Suns. 66 points in the first half. First meeting in Phoenix when the Suns had the 47 points in the first quarter. They had 72 at halftime. Pat Riley has to wonder what to do with this Phoenix Suns team.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with
No answers.
Well, what the Suns did, they kept the Miami Heat off the free throw line. And I think that is the way to get the Suns in trouble. And then on top of that, the Suns shoot 57%. No one in the league will beat them if they allow the Suns to do what they did to Miami in that first half.
Suns leading by 19. It's the second biggest halftime deficit for the Miami Heat. Of course, the biggest back in Phoenix. The Suns led by 22 at halftime. Here's the winners board brought to you by Gila River Casinos, where the winners play. Some of the big number players of the first half, and James Jones, all 17 of his points in that scintillating second quarter. Another double-double for Nash here in the first half already, and a solid performance by Kurt Thomas.
Well, it really was. I thought all around. I mean, Kurt got in foul trouble early, but was able to sustain it, didn't pick up the third one. But James Jones was the difference. And we talked about either he, Leandro, Eddie House, Boris Diaw. Somebody has to step up and have a good effort in terms of scoring, and James Jones now probably was the focal point in the Heat locker room at halftime. Now, Dwayne Wade, his usual 16 points, Tom, but the Suns kept him off the free throw line. I thought that was huge. And then Udonis Haslem, he had 10 points, but he is not comfortable in this role. He started to struggle as the shots continued to come. And the only reason Shaquille O'Neal has 8 points is because he got in foul trouble, because the Suns really had no answer for him down inside.
Suns ending that second quarter on an 18-6 run, led by that man right there, James Jones, back here in Miami. And before the game, we had a chance to talk to James about coming home.
It's fun. Whenever I get a chance to come back home, play in front of my family, friends, and some ex-teammates, it's good. And especially since Miami's such a good opponent right now. It's a hot ticket. It's a very exciting atmosphere. I mean, so this is something, when you come home, you want to play a great team, and that's what we have right now.
And he has it going on here tonight in Miami. That amazing second quarter. The Suns as a team made their last 7 shots of the period.
Well, you know, James Jones obviously has to give credit to his teammates, as he always does, in terms of getting those looks, because their hard work to force the Miami defense to collapse has given him that opportunity to knock down wide open shots. And as I said with James Jones, his mechanics are great. His confidence level wavers. And the key for him to continue what he did in the first half and the second half is to not get down on himself probably by the physical presence the Heat will maybe employ on him in the second half, and then understanding if he misses 2 in a row, don't shy away from it, because the good things that he did in the first half is going to be needed from him in the second half.
And Eddie, he's a well-conditioned athlete. Asking him before the season how he works out in the offseason, says he uses those sandy beaches of Miami to run in and to keep those legs strong. Also says his favorite coach, aside, of course, from Mike D'Antoni, is Jimmy Jones. No, not that Jimmy Jones of Dallas, but Jimmy Jones, who was his high school coach here in Miami. He said, Coach Jones let me play on the perimeter despite my size. You know, a guy like that in high school, normally you put him down on the low block.
Well, you know what? I hope all of these coaches out there heard that, because, you know, you don't get a position in basketball until you get to college. You know, you're a basketball player. You don't label a kid a big kid, because if you do, it takes his game away.
They start with a lob to Marion. Met at the top and fouled there by Wade. And now for Dwayne Wade, that's his second personal foul. Shaq has 3.
You know, and I know the Heat are probably a little upset and disappointed in how they're playing, and the fans let them hear it going in at halftime. But, you know, quite frankly, if the Suns are on their game, the Heat can't beat them. You know, it's just a bad mix, you know. And if the Suns aren't knocking down shots, then the Heat will look dominant. But right now, the Suns are getting anything that they want. And when that happens, it's tough for a slow team like Miami to really beat them.
How would you have liked to have been in that Miami Heat locker room at halftime? Listen to a possible tirade from their head coach, Pat Riley. In the first meeting in Phoenix, they were so frustrated. Assistant coach Keith Askins was so hot during a live halftime interview that he ended up using inappropriate language and had to be reprimanded by the league. Nash turning, firing, comes up short. Rebound to Shaq. Payton on the move. Setting up Haslam, nowhere to go, and then throws it out of bounds. Turnover, Miami.
Yeah, he threw that over Wade. Wade must not be warmed up, because it wasn't that high.
You know, Pat Riley said that day that the Heat were in Phoenix that he may not coach after this season.
Well, he said when he retired he'd never coach again.
Saying we can't trust the words of Pat Riley?
Well, I'm just saying, once a coach, always a coach.
That was the first Miami Heat turnover since the opening quarter. Boris Diaw straight but strong, and the rebound to Udonis Haslam.
Well, I don't like this opening here. You know, the Suns really getting some difficult looks. Miami obviously talked about some things.
Kurt Thomas forcing a tough shot there by Wade. Here comes Raja Bell for 3. Back iron boarded by Gary Payton. Again, Miami Heat without their starting point guard, Jason Williams, out with that knee tendonitis. Posey, 74% of his shots are from three-point range, and he lights it up.
You know, now the smart thing that the Suns have to think about here is, you know what, good ball movement, move bodies, maybe try to get something inside, if not just a high percentage shot on the move.
Posey shoots 43% from behind the line. Nash too strong off the glass. Intimidated there by Shaq. Here comes Dwayne Wade, met by Raja Bell and Kurt Thomas defensively. Posey thinks about another 3. Nash was there to cover up. It's Payton with the big shot. Scooped up by Raja Bell. Suns as a team shooting 52% from the field. Miami 43%. Thomas pops off the pick. Stripped by Dwayne Wade. Raja Bell back for the Suns, trying to take the charge. And yes, offensive foul on Dwayne Wade. Credit the play by Raja Bell.
Well, he did, you know, Dwayne Wade wanted to bring something into this stadium. And I mean, he wanted to bring an explosion. He wanted to get the fans out of their seat. But yet, what he did was he got disappointment because he refused to really look up and find a teammate.
How vital was that? Now the third personal foul on Wade, forced by Raja. Neutralizing Dwayne in transition, and now Raja from the outside for 2.
That's definitely can weigh on your mind. Get the foul and then get it drilled right in your face from the outside.
Reminiscent of what he did with Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in Phoenix. When he took that charge, Kobe picked up a technical foul, then he came right back with a 3 in the mug of Kobe. There is the power of one Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq now 5 of 7 shooting a somewhat quiet 10 points and 9 rebounds. Kurt Thomas wants to pull Shaq out, and now look at this on the run out. Look at it, Shaq.
Well, you know, Kurt a little bit too far out on that opportunity there.
Nash trying to answer quickly for Phoenix. And look at Shaquille O'Neal again sprinting down the floor. Posting up, sealing Kurt Thomas, but it's stolen by 3D, who throws it away right into the hands of Haslam.
He threw it to the right person.
Nash, Diao had a lay-in attempt. Instead, it's Raja. Corner pocket three, absolutely.
In the background of all the Heat players standing behind him. I'd like to get a picture of that one. That looked pretty good.
Again, Boris Diaw unselfishly giving up the 2 down the lane, sets up Raja Bell, another $100 to Phoenix Suns charities from AutoZone. The Suns have now plugged 9 3-pointers.
If you can shoot the 3, Tom, it demoralizes you. You make a run, you think everything is flowing, and then the flowing stops.
$73-56 Suns here in the third quarter in Miami. Tonight only, fans who purchase the 5-game Suns stretch run ticket package will receive a Suns yearbook as well as a Suns racer hat to commemorate your 2006 Phoenix Suns. You save $25 off single game pricing, plus the hat and yearbook have a retail value of $30. That's a $55 savings. Call 602-379-SUNS to secure your seats to watch the Suns heat up against the Rockets, Clippers, Blazers, Mavericks, and Hornets at 602-379-SUNS.
Suns just pushing the basketball, spreading the floor. Boris Diaw probably had a layup there, but he's an excellent passer, very unselfish, and why not find a guy that's been knocking down threes as good as anyone in Raja Bell?
Eddie mentioned that the Suns hit their last 7 shots of the first half. They start the second half just 2 of 8 shooting, both shots nailed by Raja Bell, who now is defensively trying to track and lock up Dwayne Wade. Into the corner, Payton, 3-pointer, not close.
You know, they aren't good shooters. And you know, you can't, my man Cotton Fitzsimmons always said, can't have enough shooters. And the Miami Heat, although with all their changes, they just don't have enough shooters out there to really counteract what the Suns are doing. Diaw
deleted by Shaq, and now it's Posey. Puts it on the floor. Kurt Thomas takes the charge. Raja and Kurt Thomas sacrificing their bodies here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and you know, the confidence of the Heat and anybody that plays when things aren't going their way is to put their head down and go to the bucket. James Posey basically had a 1-dribble pull-up off the glass, something he hasn't incorporated in his game yet, and it got him another 5.
Eddie, you've started to get to know Kurt Thomas, just the consummate pro. Absolutely love his demeanor with this Suns team, on the road, on the bus, on the plane, in the locker room.
He's an excellent leader, and he's happy that the change was made to bring him over to this basketball team, and he's trying to do whatever he can to help this team win.
Posey locks in from the corner for another 3-pointer. Suns lead now down to 14. Biggest advantage has been 21. Kurt Thomas, top of the key, straight but strong.
I just say a step too far back, and I think Kurt can get a little closer because Shaq can't really recover out there.
Thomas now 3 of 6 shooting from the field, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Suns have 4 players in double figures, led by the 17 from James Jones. Payton fading, tough shot off balance, chirped out of there by Marion. And there is the glove with another steal in his illustrious career. Posey wants his third 3 and got it here in the third quarter.
Well, you know, I'm sure they've been searching for that hand, and now James Posey has. He started to fire, and that's a problem for the Suns. They have to concentrate on it, which frees up Shaq and Wade.
Nash fading on Shaq. Hits the shot clock. They'll give it to Miami with the Heat down 11. Posey, a perfect 3 of 3 from 3-point range. Suns just 2 of 12 shooting here in the quarter.
Let's see if they can try to maybe get the ball in Posey's hands again.
Haslam hands it off to Wade. They dump it down to Shaq. Into the lane, running right-hander, chasing his own miss. Tipped over to Diao. Here comes Nash and the Suns on the push. Nash met by Payton. And then a collision down low. Offensive foul on Phoenix.
Yeah, that was easy. I mean, Kurt, he saw Posey right there in the lane, and he just got a detour. You know, you just can't, because it could have gone either way, but when you Kurt Thomas right now, where your fouls are important, you go around them.
You can save those late in the game if it's close. For the Hack-a-Shack, third personal foul on Thomas. Posey, fourth three-pointer here in the third quarter, doing his best James Jones impersonation. Diao, cut off there. Now it's Raja Bell. Big shot by Raja Bell.
That was huge. I mean, that was huge for a number of reasons. One, for the Suns, who I don't think confidence is down. They feel like they can get any shot, but just to take some air out of the heat.
Raja Bell has been the lone offensive force for the Suns here in this third quarter. Posey's been the man for Miami. Shaq muscling down on Kurt Thomas, who just picked up his fourth personal foul.
Yeah, and regardless whether Kurt got all ball or not, it's just the way and the force that he came down on it was going to get him the call. And now Pat Burke has to come in and get beat up a little bit as Kurt sits down. But James Posey has been the guy. I mean, they have searched for the hot hand outside. The Suns defensively have really cut off the interior. And now James Posey is the guy red hot and on fire. And the Suns have to find a way to get to him and make him become a driver.
Meanwhile, at the line, it's Shaquille O'Neal. Career low numbers in scoring and rebounding for Shaq. Missed those 18 games with the ankle injury, and reports of his demise may be a little too early, though, as he misses the second and a lane violation on Phoenix. So Shaq will have another attempt at the line, but Shaq said, hey, I'm not in demise yet. He says next year and the year after that, I'll be on the downside, but not yet, not this season. You know how Miami feels about that after getting that 5-year, $100 million deal.
Well, true, but he's still the best center in the league, and so in a league of centers that can't play, I think they'll take what they got.
Rare miss here in the quarter by Raja Bell, who has 16 points for Phoenix. Suns shooting now 48% from the field. Their lead is 11. 4:35 to go here in the third quarter. Suns head to Atlanta to meet up with Joe Johnson and the Hawks tomorrow night on UPN 45, Game 3 of the road trip. It's Payton from the outside. Flat shot. Rebound hits the floor and grabbed by Diao.
Sean Marion didn't get it, but he fought Hanslam for it and shook it loose.
Marion has 5 rebounds here tonight so far to go along with his 12 rebounds. Burke pops off the pick and now finds a wide open Boris Diao. Baseline comes up shy. Boarded there by Posey. Look at Raja Bell backpedaling on Wade, daring him to shoot that J. And now it's Payton. Ambushed in the lane. Posey, another three. Number 5 here in the quarter for James Posey.
The mistake there, Tom, is they allowed Gary Payton to get on the baseline. They had him hemmed up. Someone allowed Gary Payton to come to the weak side, and that's how he found Posey.
James Posey started this game for Miami, scoreless in the entire first half, now has 15 points on 5 3-pointers here in the third. Miami Heat, the Heat outscoring the Suns 21-10 here in the third quarter. James Posey, 15 of the Heat's 21 points here in the period. Time now for tonight's APS power matchup. APS, the power to make it happen. Orlando coming off that win over the Phoenix Suns, taking on AI and the Sixers, and leading right now by 4 in overtime. About 30 seconds left to go on that one. Howard with 22, AI 38 for Philly. Suns will be in Philadelphia to take on the Sixers on Tuesday night, game 5 of the road trip, and then close it out in Boston on Wednesday. Eddie Johnson here in the third quarter. Raja Bell for the Suns, 3 of 5 shooting, 8 points. The rest of the Suns team, 0 of 10 from the field.
Yeah, and that's going to change. I mean, it has to in order for the Suns to continue their quest to win this tough basketball game that they're going to encounter. But the key, I think, regardless of their shooting, is to locate James Posey. I mean, there's the fire, and he started it, and he's gotten 15 points in this quarter, and it's almost 3.5 minutes left.
Mike D'Antoni said it. Whoever makes most of the open jumpers in this game will win. Posey lighting it up here in the period. Nash nearly traveled. Burke blindsided by Wade. Here comes Posey. Met out at that three-point stripe by Boris Diaw. Diaw locked in defensively on Posey. Haslam, his pass tipped away by Marion inside of 10 on the shot clock. They still want Shaq. Give and go with Udonis Haslam, who gives it a home.
Yeah, Sean, he went to double, but he should have went with Haslam a little bit further into the paint and then release and go double. Gave Shaq an easy look.
Suns led by as many as 21 points in the second quarter. Their lead is down to 6, but there is Steve Nash. From the outside, a three-pointer for Nash, and the lead is back to 9.
How do you defend against that? I mean, you've made a serious run, and Steve, it's a fadeaway three.
Impeccable timing by Nash. Shaq too strong. And there's Nash tracking it down in midcourt as Burke hits the wood. Shaq now joining the Heat defensively. Nash trying to get to the rim before Shaq gets there. And here's Marion rising up on Haslam. Comes up short.
Yeah, Sean's a little off kilter. He hasn't really gotten consistent looks in this game. And the last two shot attempts by him have been short of the rim.
Miami Heat, they were 11-10 when Pat Riley took over as head coach. They've gone 14-7 with Riley at the helm this season. Haslam short. Rebound tipped over to Marion. And now here comes Nash and the Suns. Nash from far away, too strong. Nash hit in the face, hits the floor. Ball goes out of bounds. And I believe they'll give it to the Suns. Nash still on the floor complaining that he was whacked in the mug. Over there talking to referee Gary Zielinski. 1:52 to go here in the third quarter. And the Suns will have it in the corner.
Good hustle by Sean Marion. Just never gives up on the rebound. Haslam gave up a step, and Sean made him pay.
It was Posey who poked Nash in the face on the follow-through. Nash into the corner, Raja Bell, corner pocket three, got it! And he'll head to the line to try to polish off a 4-point play.
And then fell back in Shaq's lap. That's a big lap to fall back into. There's a lot of cushion over there. You won't get hurt. You know, when you're hot from outside, defensive players get crazy. You know, the rule is you never foul a jump shooter, especially when he's behind the line. And Capono not only fouled him, but he pushed him.
You're right in the lap of Shaq. And Raja Bell, who has 11 points here in the third quarter, heads to the line. NBA rarity. Opportunity for a 4-point play. Got it for Raja.
For all the Heat's hard work, they still find themselves down 13. I mean, that's why the Suns demoralized him.
Udonis Haslam hit the shot. Heat pulled to within 6 since that time. The Suns on a 7-0 run. Scrap inside, Mourning, Antoine Walker, and they want to give it to the Suns. Monty McCutcheon says off of the Heat, here comes Phoenix. Again on a 7-0 push here at the end of the third quarter. Barbosa out there for Phoenix. A push and a foul. Nash was trying to set the screen. Shoved in the back by Posey. Miami in the penalty situation. And Marion will head to the line for 2.
Their frustration factor came back in a hurry. You would think they would be feeling good and lively. I mean, they really came back from really being blown out in this game. And the Suns, again, quickly can just take you back to the depths of your despair.
Wow, poetry, yeah. Mr. Johnson.
You didn't know that, huh?
Come explore the new Verizon Wireless Jungle on level 4 of the U.S. Airways Center at all Suns home games. Tons of fun for kids and adults alike. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Suns have kept working here in the third quarter. Now on a 9-0 run, back up by 15. Posey That would have been three-pointer number 6 here in the quarter. Cleaning up inside, Antoine Walker, former All-Star with the Celtics. James Jones back out there for Phoenix. That is the first miss by Posey from three-point range here in the third quarter. Barbosa driving on Mourning. Marion rising up. Goes after the offensive rebound, keeps it alive for Phoenix. What a hustle play by Sean Marion.
It just took it away. I mean, you know, and Sean's not knocking down shots, but he's still so valuable out there because of all the other things that he brings.
And Alonzo Mourning is no cupcake there in the lane. Here comes Marion. Diao on the baseline. Feathery touch by 3D.
You know, it's like a marathon. You know, the Heat came out and they're like, you know, we're going to catch up. We're going to run a little faster. And then they run out of gas and the Suns keep running at the same pace. And that's why it's so difficult to guard.
Capono comes up way short. The Suns can take the final shot of this third quarter. Miami pulled to within 6. Suns now up by 15. Crossover Barbosa. James Jones fouled from outside by Posey. And he will head to the line with 4.1 to go. 3 free throws for Junior.
I am lost for words. I really am. Can I go put a uniform on and play? Because I can get 15 in this game. It's unbelievable how guys foul guys that shoot jump shots from that far out. I mean, the percentage of him making this fadeaway 3 is low in itself. And why would you run at a guy and throw your body at an angle where he can kick his leg out and take contact?
Because you're playing for a coach like Pat Riley, who demands intensity on defense.
I don't think he demands stupidity on that play.
18-point lead. All 3 free throws canned by James Jones. Capono slapped away and denied by 3D to end the third quarter. What a push by the Suns heading to the fourth and final period.
They took care of him, Tom. They took a hit to the gut from James Posey. They came out like Ali, slapping him across the face with some jab.
And the Suns close out the quarter on a 14-2 run over Miami. You are watching Phoenix Suns basketball on UPN 45. Miami pulled within 76-70 of the Suns in that third quarter. Suns close it on a 14-2 run. Eddie Johnson inside the box score.
Yeah, and let's look at it. Suns in control of this basketball game, and you know, because of their shooting, they have been huge, especially behind the arc. Obviously, James Jones 6 of 9, his 20 points, and Steve Nash trying to match his point production, 13 and 12.
Eddie, we started this broadcast talking about Steve Nash and Sean Marion, how they give it to the Suns on a nightly basis, but that the Suns would need a third and fourth scorer here tonight. Those two players have been Raja Bell and James Jones.
Yeah, that's been huge. It really has, because it takes so much pressure off of Sean, who hasn't had a huge night scoring offensively. But these two guys can spread the floor. And James Jones has gotten off. He's back home. He has that old home feeling where he feels real good. And then Raja Bell has been very consistent over the last double-plus ball games anyway. I mean, he has been huge in his ability to score consistently, taking pressure off of his teammates. And then Boris Diaw, my guy, you know, he's getting ready for Atlanta.
You're right. And the Suns avoiding the Miami Heat and a lead going to the fourth quarter, because if Miami leads after 3 quarters of play, they've won the last 51 games here at home. But they trail the Suns by 18. Raja Bell with a steal tries to lead Sean Marion. Back-to-back turnovers, and here's Antoine Walker calling out the set play for Pat Riley. Very important for the Suns to have that lead heading to the fourth and final quarter. There is Dwayne Wade, who may have turned his ankle.
Well, he should have shot the ball a little bit sooner than what he did. He was trying to draw the foul. You know, everything that he does, he tries to get the contact first, and that time got cost.
Raja Bell fouled over there by Jason Capono. Again, Dwayne Wade missed the first meeting between these two teams with a shin injury and came away gimpy after that last jumper. Wade now has 18 points, 8 of 16 shooting here tonight.
You go to the line as much as he does, he's going to be banged up. And that's the problem that you're going to face when you continually go to the hoop and fall on the floor as much as he does.
Boris Diaw slapped away and blocked there by Alonzo Mourning. Suns were a perfect 8 of 8 from the free throw line in the third quarter, and Barbosa carries it. Zoe was waiting for another rejection. And Miami will have it down 16.
Zoe blocked it after the official blew the whistle when he looked at Leandro. What are you doing? Leandro's like, I'm just practicing. Doesn't count.
Wade driving on Marion in the lane. And a foul on Phoenix and Sean Marion. Dwayne Wade has asked to come out because of that, what appears to be a foot or ankle injury. With 10:52 to go in the fourth quarter, Wade limps to the sidelines.
Well, you look at him and all the things that he's wearing, and you're talking about a young man. And he looks, and walks sometimes like he's about 4 or 5 years older than what he is, and that's because of the way that he plays.
They'll count the hoop by Antoine Walker. Suns coaching staff is aghast over there. Going back to Dwayne Wade, though, and how valuable he is to this Miami team. Don't forget that he had that abdominal injury in the playoffs. And if healthy, you wonder if the Miami Heat could have beaten the Detroit Pistons in that 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals. And you see him landing awkwardly there along the baseline.
Well, he had the shot initially, and sometimes you have to be careful of what you ask for. And he wanted to get some contact, to get greedy and get a three-point play, but what happened, it cost him because he came down differently on his foot.
How tough is Dwayne Wade, though, with that abdominal injury in the Eastern Conference Finals to play in Game 7? He took 2 cortisone shots in order to get out there on the floor with his teammates, try to upend the Pistons. Walker, baby hook inside over James Jones.
Well, he can take over where Posey left off. There's no doubt about it. He's an excellent scorer inside, and they're going to try to get something going with him with this unit on the floor.
Lead is down to 11. Marion hands it off to James Jones for 3, boarded by Mourning. Shaq on the bench with his 12 points, 10 rebounds. Here comes Peyton, another future Hall of Famer, trying to post up Alonzo Mourning. You can bet he will have a ticket to the Hall. Head fake, dips in on Diaw, and another hook in the lane for Miami. This time, it's Zoe, pumped up and ready to bring the Heat back into this game.
Well, don't make a mistake. I mean, this guy can score. If they leave Boris Diaw on him, as maneuverable as he is, that is a very difficult player to guard with his quickness and strength. And they're going to have to send somebody at Alonzo. He's feeling good.
Phoenix Suns have not scored yet in this fourth quarter. It's Miami 9, Suns nothing in the period. This week's Southwest Airlines featured destination is Disney World. Go to southwest.com for air, car, and hotel deals in Disney World. Specials available through Thursday. If you're just joining us here in the second half, we told you off the top that the Suns have a new player on their roster as they trade for Nicholas Skeetishvili. They acquire Skeeta from Minnesota for a second-round pick. 4th-year player, 23 years of age. Now will be playing for his 4th team. He was the 5th overall selection by Denver. A 7-footer who can shoot the 3 and, according to Mike D'Antoni, runs like a deer. Eric Phillips, who was the Suns' strength and conditioning coach, used to work in Denver and worked with Skeeta between Skeetishvili's rookie year and his 2nd season in the NBA. He put on 20 pounds of muscle working out 2 to 3 hours a day in the gym. But he broke his thumb going to that 2nd season and had an injury going into this campaign with Minnesota. So a disappointing career, but a whole lot of promise for the newest son, Nicholas Skeetishvili.
Well, he's young. He has time.
Suns need a hoop. Nash left-handed hook, tipping it in. There was Kurt Thomas and Marion at the glass. I believe they'll give the hoop to Kurt Thomas.
He volleyballed that one in.
First points of the period for Phoenix, ending the 9-0 run by the Heat. Nash, James Jones, Kurt Thomas, Marion, Eddie House, the 5 on the floor here in the fourth quarter. Back cut, Peyton held and fouled there by James Jones.
Good foul. have to worry about the penalty or anything right now. If Gary Payton catches that pass, he has an excellent chance to score on the play, and so just make him take it out of bounds.
Suns entered this game first place Pacific Division, 2.5 games ahead of the Clippers, 4 up on the LA Lakers. Payton fouled from behind by Marion.
Well, it could be on Steve, because Steve basically had his back turned to Gary Payton, and
you're right.
That's an automatic foul. You have to turn and face the opposition. You can't have your back turned on the play, and that's why they made the call.
Wow. Good call, Eej. You know your hoops.
I have good eyes. I have to when I play golf with you. It's the only way I'll find your ball.
Shall we talk about Doral? No, I don't think so. 92-82, 1 of 2 at the line for Gary Payton. The Suns already with 14 fouls. Ball batted away, diving in front of his head coach, James Posey. Rams into a couple of fans there in the front row.
They have 2 guys on the floor that can create problems with their hands, and Posey is one, and then Gary Payton is the other. And so then you go in the paint, and now you have Alonzo Mourning waiting for you. So the Suns probably are facing the Heat's best defensive unit that they're going to face during the course of the game. And so although it's their bench, they're finding it hard to score because of this unit the Heat has on the floor.
Eddie, they called a loose ball foul on the Suns' Kurt Thomas. So the Suns are now in the penalty situation at the 8:47 mark of the 4th quarter. A perilous position for Phoenix.
Well, it really is, and so when you're in that position, if Shaq comes in, just foul him all the time. Don't give anybody else a chance. Put Pat Burke in and say, you know what, Pat, foul 5 straight times.
Well, Payton missed a free throw. Posey missed a free throw. The Suns' lead is 9. The Suns have had some explosive runs here tonight against Miami. 9-0 run in the first, 18-6 to end that first half. Marion's pass headed out of bounds, saved into the hands of Kurt Thomas, and hold on. Now we've got a stop in play, and we'll see what the officials come away with. In the 3rd quarter, the Suns went on a 14-2 run to end the quarter.
Well, the Suns had to get a new shot clock. They did not reset the clock, as they probably should. They're the home team.
They set the clock at 22. Here comes Nash. Out to Kurt Thomas, wide open look, and it pops out.
Yeah, Kurt's got to knock that down. If the Suns are going to win this game, he will have to make that shot.
Payton, shut down there by Marion. Mourning back to Gary Payton for 3. 2 players hit the floor, Antoine Walker and Nash, and it's Steve Nash hit with a personal foul. D'Antoni livid along the Suns sideline.
Yeah, you know, D'Antoni probably is looking and saying, how is Steve Nash going to throw Antoine Walker on the floor? And so that's his argument there, but when you take a look at it, Antoine Walker had position, and Steve Nash released him and fell, but in that falling, Antoine falls down, and officials, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at the position that Antoine Walker had, and they're not going to penalize him from falling, so they're going to give the foul to the nearest competitor. I should have been an official.
You're doing just fine right here.
I would have teched up everybody, though. I would have teched you up if I would have heard you say something wrong.
You could have done that at Doral. I took my putter and clubbed the flag stick.
Yeah, don't tell anybody about that.
1 of 2 for Walker. So Walker, Posey, and Payton each missing a free throw at the stripe. Nash will come up short. Free throw shooting here tonight for Miami. 9 of 18. How about the Suns? A perfect 18 of 18 from the line.
Yeah, that has been huge for them in matching them on the free throw line.
Wade for 3. He is not a good 3-point shooter at all. Here comes Nash and the Suns. Wade shoots only 10% from 3-point range. Short as James Jones. Nash in one motion trying to feed Marion. Here comes Gary Payton in the Heat. Trailing by 8. Payton spinning, dishing. Posey. Tipped out of there. Antoine Walker inside to Wade. Wade with the crush. Playing on the gimpy foot. And he will slowly head to the Miami bench. But apparently, that ankle or foot healthy enough to jam it down, and we have a 6-point game.
A game of streaks, Tom. That's what this game has been. The Suns have had the best streaks, but the Miami Heat, they're on a run of their own, thanks to their bench.
The Suns have hit a cold snap here in the fourth quarter. Only 2 points on the board. It's 14-2 Miami here in the quarter. Tonight, only fans who purchase the 5-game Suns stretch run ticket package will receive a Suns yearbook as well as a Suns racer hat to commemorate your 2006 Phoenix Suns. You save $25 off single game pricing, plus the hat and yearbook have a retail value of $30. That's a $55 savings. Call 602-379-SUNS to secure your seats to watch the Suns heat up against the Rockets, Clippers, Blazers, Mavs, and Hornets at 602-379-SUNS or visit suns.com. All right, Eddie. Suns had a 6-point lead, 76-70 in the third quarter, then closed out the fourth on a 14-2 run. That has now been answered by the Heat with their own 14-2 push.
Well, you know, it's been a game of streaks. I mean, the Suns have had the biggest streaks, and it's gone back and forth. So maybe it's the Suns' time, because they have struggled big time from the two-point area, definitely in this half. The Heat has really compacted their defense in, and the Suns now aren't making shots.
Heat fans are alive here at American Airlines Arena. Raja Bell, quick fire, down it goes for Raja Bell. Big hoop out of the timeout for Phoenix.
Huge. That was huge, because their momentum has been big, and you know, two guys on the floor right now, Walker and Shaq, the Suns have to really pay attention to, and that if they get good opportunities, foul them. They're terrible free throw shooters.
Raja Bell now has 22 points. Wade, 10% three-point shooter, and he hits it. That's about all. He doesn't do well, but he finds the range here in the fourth. The lead is 5. Nash creating for Marion, open look, in and out. Rebound to Shaq.
Yeah, Sean is just squeezing his shot right now. He had a tough luck on a couple of them and just holding the ball a little bit too long.
Marion now 4 of 10 shooting. Raja trying to take a charge. Pump fake Wade, bounces into Raja Bell, and they call an offensive foul on Dwayne Wade.
Well, try again, and you will succeed. And that's what Raja Bell did on that play. He took a hit from Antoine Walker 2 times in a row down the court. I thought Antoine Walker should have had an offensive foul. He didn't get it, but then he was right there for Wade. Easy call.
4th personal foul on Dwayne Wade.
Raja Bell falling.
Raja Bell gets it out to Boris Diaw. Inside of 10 on the shot clock for the Suns. Their lead is 5. Marion rising up, flips it up and in. Sean Marion with the touch.
He is the only one in the building that can make that shot. I'm telling you. Going the wrong way, jumping off the wrong foot.
Just handed a note. The Boston Celtics have acquired Wally Szczerbiak and Michael Olowokandi from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Very interesting. We'll give you more details on that deal. 3-2 on the shot clock for Wade. Comes up shy. And the ball goes out of bounds. Phoenix will have it.
Well, they sent a lot of people. They sent Marcus Banks, Mark Blount, Ricky Davis, and Justin Reed.
Banks, Blount, Ricky Davis, Justin Reed, and 2 picks headed to Minnesota. Danny Ainge picking up Wally Szczerbiak and Olowokandi.
Well, I like Szczerbiak.
Nash, 4 on the shot clock, 3 on the clock. A beautiful move by Steve Nash into hostile territory, finishing with the left.
That is a very difficult shot because he's going full speed. He has to jump and then keep his body between the defender and then hook it in with the left hand. Tough.
A thing of beauty by Steve Nash, who now has 15 points to go along with his 13 assists. Suns needed that deuce in a big way. Phoenix Suns led by 10 after the first quarter. They were up by 19 at halftime, led by 18 heading to the fourth and final quarter. Their lead right now is 9 with 4:45 to go. Tray tables in their upright and locked position. Tonight's High Flyers presented by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
John Marion and the tanker. That's one of those tank flights from Shaquille. You know, Sean's way up there in the air. And then here's Shaq. He just soars right through, takes off, takes a long time to take off, but he gets there. Dwayne Wade, he peeked in for a little Southwest high flyer.
That is one tough customer. Dwayne Wade talked about the cortisone shots that he took to play in the final couple of games in the Eastern Conference Finals. He actually injured the abdomen in Game 5. He said the next morning it took him an hour to get out of bed. And then following the Eastern Conference Finals, Dwayne Wade couldn't shoot a basketball for 7 weeks.
Yeah. A very difficult injury when you're talking about the middle part of your body, which takes all the hits when you play and all the jumping and all of that. Wow.
Shaq with the jam inside past Sean Marion. Marion give up there, about 125 pounds. The lead is now 7 for Phoenix. Nash kills the dribble and turns it over. Little miscommunication there. And for Phoenix now, that is turnover number 13. Miami has given it up 11 times.
You know, Steve he takes a picture of the court when he makes a move. And he thought that Kurt Thomas would stay where he was, and Kurt went to the basket.
6th turnover for the Suns here in the fourth quarter. Inside the foul on Dwayne Wade, who heads to the strike. And the Suns have been in the penalty situation for most of this quarter. Miami has just 1 team foul.
Well, Raja Bell that time really guessing and anticipating Dwayne Wade going off of the swing and off the screen, and Dwayne Wade just went back door. Just a simple reaction to the defense. But, you know, 4:15 to go, Tom, as the Heat continue to get closer. The one thing the Suns have to remember and be smart about is, one, they don't want to foul Wade. He's a pretty good free throw shooter. But, you know, if Shaq gets opportunities down low, you got to send him to the line. And then you have to send Antoine Walker as well. So you have to use your fouls. They're in the bonus already. So be careful on your fouls. Use them wisely.
The lead is 5. Foul on the perimeter. Nash hits the floor, and Antoine Walker picks up the personal. 2nd team foul on the Heat.
You want to get back in the game. That's how you do it. You get in the bonus quickly and take your time getting there. That's what's happened.
Miami 14-5 at home this season. Last year, 35-6 here at home. Nash for 3, absolutely, for Steve Nash.
The crowd was like, when he went up to shoot, it's like, oh.
That was pure. And the lead now is 8. Suns are shooting 54% from behind the line. 13 of 24 tonight. Nash now has 18. Pass goes out of bounds. Wade looking for Shaq. Critical turnover at the 3:37 mark. And now Nash will take his time.
That's it. I mean, milk this clock. I mean, the Heat can't score in a hurry, so milk it, take your time.
Driving on Payton into the lane, keeps the dribble alive like only Steve Nash can. Diao, cut off there by Wade, fades, tough shot by 3D. And the rebound into the grasp of Antoine Walker.
I'm going to tell you why, Tom, because he was thinking pass. And then he saw that he had to shoot. You know, and when you get a small guy on him like that, he needs to just be aggressive and take the shot.
Antoine for 3. Rebounded by 3D. Walker came up just short. Inside of 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Suns off to Atlanta right after this one. We'll meet up with the Hawks. Nash, feathery touch in the lane. Rips the cords, and he'll head to the line for a possible 3-point play. And Eddie, the Heat fans are heading for the parking lot.
Yeah, it's like they have somewhere to go. Plenty of places to go, and they're trying to get there in a hurry. But the glove got tripped up. And that's what happened. Gary Payton went underneath the screen, played it well, but got tripped up by his own man. And Shaquille O'Neal couldn't get there in time.
Nash pumps in the free throw. In unison, thousands of fans get up and leave the arena.
Oh, that goes to show you. They're here for the glitz.
Yep.
Because it's too much time left in this game for them to get up and leave on their team.
Nash has 8 points here in the quarter. Traffic must be a bear here in Miami. Shaq fouled in the paint, will head to the line, where tonight Miami has missed 9 free throws.
But, you know, time again, they have nowhere to go. It's nothing to do here.
You're right. You're right. I mean, why? Where would you go? South Beach?
Yeah.
What fun is that?
Yeah.
2:29 to go here in the fourth. Shaq and Miami have now misfired 10 times from the stripe.
You know, his free throw shooting got better over a period of time, and now it's gotten worse. I mean, his shooting is probably as bad as he's ever shot. I don't get it. I mean, I think improvement is what you should always get, especially when it comes to a free shot.
45% from the line this season. That is horrible. Suns lead is 10. Milking the shot clock, Steve Nash. Whips it inside to Diao. 5 on the shot clock for Nash. Back out to Boris. Good look from 18 feet. And Antoine Walker rips it away from Nash. Up ahead, here comes Payton. Right through his hands, out of bounds.
They're not used to running.
Where's the glove when you need it?
Well, he lost it. He dropped it somewhere.
2 minutes.
Inside of 2 minutes to go for Phoenix. Looks like they will split the first 2 here on the road. A disappointing loss in Orlando to the Magic and a most impressive performance tonight against the Heat. Marion backs down on Posey. Straight but strong. And another rebound for Antoine Walker. The Suns just hanging on here in the fourth quarter. Remember, Miami scored the first 9 points. It was a 14-2 run by the Heat to begin this period. Suns trying to cover up on that three-point attempt. Posey couldn't finish. Kurt Thomas saves it to Diao. One-handed pass, Nash. Up ahead, Marion. Hello, doctor.
You know, they just don't look good when they penetrate and kick. You know, and that's why I said, a lot of people say, well, I love to play the way the Suns play. Well, if you don't know how to penetrate and kick, you won't.
Timeout, Pat Riley and the Heat. We heard the Boo Birds going into halftime. Not enough fans around to even make enough noise to hear them boo here in the fourth. Suns looking good for win number 27 on the season.
The graphic up there on it.
We are back here in the fourth quarter. $1:13 to go. Suns leading by 12 and punctuating a victory here in Miami. Nash up ahead to Sean Marion for the crush.
Sean didn't get many looks in this game, but again, his effort, this hustle, still gets him a double-double.
Hey, look at that. Eddie Johnson, we're at the halfway point, so we have our all-EJ team at the halfway point.
Well, you know, Steve
Are
Nash
you on that, or are you the coach?
Yeah, no, I'm on it. I just wanted to add some good looks to the picture. How about that? You know, Nash obviously is on there, and Kobe Bryant is probably playing as well as anybody in the league. If the Lakers' record was any better, he'd definitely be in the lead for MVP. And Dirk Nowitzki's having a fabulous year. And Tim Duncan and, you know, Sean Marion being on that team. I know some people say, where's LeBron James? But if you look at Sean Marion's stats and where he ranks in a lot of areas compared to LeBron James, it's really no contest right now. And that's why Sean Marion, the way he's been playing lately, deserves to be on that team.
Suns try to finish it off here. And also not on that team, Chauncey Billups, who's receiving a lot of attention as an MVP candidate. Dwayne Wade was not on that list.
Well,
some tough
not
choices.
better than Kobe Bryant. And Chauncey Billups is not doing the job that Steve Nash is doing with what Steve Nash has had to change his game and deal with, from having a 62-win team to a team that's made a lot of changes. So there you go.
All right. Boris Diaw has it. Pat Riley looking on from the sideline. Has had very few answers for the Suns here tonight, though Miami made a couple of strong runs in this game and in the fourth quarter. But the Phoenix Suns have prevailed. 22 seconds to go, leading by 10, and Miami will fall to 14-8 since Pat Riley took over for Stan Van Gundy, who resigned for family reasons. And when you talk to Stan Van Gundy after the fact, saying any regrets, his only regret was that he did not do that sooner.
Well, no, I don't believe that.
That's what he says.
Yeah, well, whatever. I think if they'd gotten off to the kind of start Detroit got off to, he'd still be here. And, you know, and that's why I tell you, winning makes you happy. Sometimes people get caught up and wonder why athletes might be unhappy or coaches are unhappy. You know, the guy makes millions of dollars. Why is he unhappy? Well, they don't understand that what drives you is your happiness in your sport. Are you winning? Are things going well for you? Are you playing? And those things aren't happening, and it throws you off kilter. And that's why I think he left. But I tell you, this is a slow team Miami has. And they'll play well against most teams, but against up-tempo teams, they have some major issues. They need to add some speed to this ball club.
Van Gundy with 4 young children says now is very happy helping them with their homework, now knows exactly what they're actually studying in school. Final seconds from Miami. Walker inside, and down go the Heat. 107-98 Phoenix. The Suns move to 27-15 on the season. 11-8 on the road. They are now 12-4 against Eastern Conference teams, but a very impressive performance from start to finish by the Suns here in Miami.
Well, I think it goes to show you, if the Suns are focused and they're right in their game, they can beat anyone in the league. But then when they're not playing well, they can lose to anyone like they did in Orlando. So the focus has to be there. And it was here on a national stage tonight for them, and they took care of business.
1-1 so far on this 6-game road trip. Back with our player of the game and Suns report from American Airlines Arena right after this.